With the front drilling jig for the Vionaro V8, you can easily, quickly and precisely drill and attach the front fixing to the front panel. Here on our cabinet, we have an overlay for our 17mm front. And of course, it makes sense to set the 17mm directly on the drilling jig using the scale at the bottom. The process at the bottom is as follows. Very simple. If I need an overlay at the bottom of 19mm, in other words the thickness of my cabinet for example, then I also set 19mm here. And it's important to note, especially for the lower overlay, that the 0 position of the template is always the bottom edge of the slide. That means, in our example, if the slide is lying completely flat on the bottom panel, we have this 0 position. And if we want the front to extend 19mm above it, to create an overlay of 19mm, then it's very simple. Just set it to 19mm. Now that we've prepared the jig, we can position it precisely on the front, nicely aligned in the corner, and then drill directly through the jig into the front using the 5mm wood drill bit. Here's another tip. It's best to use a depth stop like this. The drilling depth for this front fixing is 13mm. The template itself is 17mm thick. That means you can set it to about 30 to create an overlay of 19mm. For the first hole, I would definitely recommend making a quick drilling pattern to check the drilling depth. And then you can really get started. Now we'll drill the front panel. Transfer it to the other side. Alright, now the holes are drilled. Now we can install the front fixing into the front panel. The marking shows which side is up and which is down. You can also easily remember the bottom because the latch here points downward. That means I can now position it in the holes and hammer it in. The front stabilizer that we have here can be hammered in at the top. All front fittings have now been installed on this side. We also have insertion tools in our range which are especially useful for front fittings. They work really well for this purpose. And then attach the front fitting. We also have an assembly aid for the stabilizer. So it's super quick and easy. And now we can screw everything on. Last step, mount the front onto the drawer. And then, well, immediately see whether we've done a good job. The top screw here. Screw tight. This is exactly the case for the heights 200, 250 and for the crystal variant. And now let's take a look, let's see. Yes, so everything looks very good. And especially if you look down here at the overlay at the bottom, you can really see how precise and simple it is. That's what you can set here with this drilling jig. Set to 19mm and we have the perfect 19mm overlay. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions about the assembly technology or about the Vionaro V8, just write them in the comments below. I wish you all the best and much success with your projects.